Getting around the back of De La Torre here. Os Aydin with the ball into the box. It's cleared away by Freeman. El Mali. All the way back for Demiral. 4 goals in what is now 54 caps for Merih Demiral. Agyemang and Luna getting into it a little bit there. With Demiral and Soyuncu stepping in as well.
That's right. It was almost, I think Demiral was trying to, didn't like the PSI, didn't like the air pressure in the ball, was seeing if they could just roll it out. I mean, how'd Agyemang know that?
Demiral's first appearance since the 3-1 loss against Montenegro in November. Scored twice in the round of 16 win against Austria in Euro 2024. And then missed the quarter-final loss against the Netherlands through suspension. Demiral winning the AFC Champions League last month with Al Ahly. Finished 5th in the Saudi Pro League. Inside the final 4 minutes of the first half. El Mali down the left side. McGlynn battling for it there. And it's gone out of play for a US throw. McGlynn does well.
What's interesting is this evolution of goalkeepers that play with the ball at their feet and building out of back at all costs. You know, I love it, right? I want to see this attacking play. But I think what's hard is to coach the nuance of when to just lump it, especially when Agyemang is isolated on his own, and sometimes, especially as Sterke started to be a little more aggressive and get up the field, he had a couple of moments where he gave the ball away cheaply. Don't go away from that strategy, but you have to have another gear and the understanding to play out of pressure sometimes and just make it a little easier for you.
McGlynn with the switch there, up towards halfway. The US with almost 60% possession. Richards, the captain today. Down the left from Miles Robinson. It was a defeat against European opposition last time the US played here. October of 2023, 3-1 against Germany. Took a first half lead that day as well through Christian Pulisic with a really nice goal. Alston. Agyemang looking to turn. He's done well against Demiral, who recovered, and out it goes for a US corner here. It's quite a battle going on now between Demiral and Agyemang is certainly up for it.
Arsène's been excellent going forward. I mean, it's a wonderful first touch, and he's just, both of them have a lot of jersey. Referee smart to let that go, but that's going to be quite the battle.
Luna with the first US corner. Tillman, bit of space here, chips it in towards the back post, and it's just glanced away there by El Mali. The cross hooked in, Agyemang can't get on the end of it. Back to Kolu with a long ball forward, and Matt Freese just about able to get there. Tillman chasing onto it. This is Luna. Agyemang dispossessed and cleared by Özür. Back to Kolu, gliding along midfield, across to Aaron El Mali.
Turkey getting into this position that they really love. All of their width and their attacking posture comes out of their fullbacks, and they've struggled to possess the ball and force the U.S. back on their heels, but just as the half is worn on, they're getting really comfortable into that attacking posture they love so much.
Coming up next, the Volkswagen halftime show. Sarah Walsh, Marcus Beasley and Brian Dunseth with The US trailing Turkey by 2-1. Space here for Aydin. In towards Aktürkoğlu. Well done by Malik Tillman there. And Freeman trying to get away from Kenan Yildiz, the Juve man, down that right side. Richards across the back for Robinson. Into 2 minutes of time being added on here in East Hartford, Connecticut. Turkey now scoring in 7 of their last 9 games. Aydin down the right. In the midfield, it's Yüksek. Yüksek finds Kukçu. Orkun Kukçu gets Güler to play that one across for Soyuncu. A little over a minute of stoppage time to go at the end of the half here as Kukçu has it for Turkey.
Kukçu has really been one of the big differences. Just, he's been heating up, getting on the ball. Lovely composure, but also playing through the line, spinning at certain times.
Freeman with a cushioned header back towards Chris Richards. Last year was the most appearances for the US in a calendar year for Chris Richards. He had 9 of them before missing the October window with an injury.
Notice that Freeman's been asked to sit back ever since that second goal. He hasn't been bombing forward and taking that high position. Worried in transition. Must have been communicated to him.
Chris Richards. Across the back it goes. And Johnny Cardoso with the ball down the right side. Freeman in towards the US goal scorer, McGlynn. Now De La Torre. Can the US get one back here to tie things up heading in at half-time? Afston down the left side, the final chance of the half, the final seconds. Has it gone out for the corner? I think they managed to keep it in play. And the whistle will go for half-time here in East Hartford, Connecticut. A half that saw the United States score after just 59 seconds with a goal through Jack McGlynn. But then Güler and Aktürkoğlu with 2 goals in just over 2 minutes, giving Turkey the lead at the break.
Connecticut, I'm told it will improve in the next 45 minutes. As the United States in a hole right now. Sarah, DeMarcus, Brian Dunseth with you, and Mauricio Pochettino said he wants to see fight and grit out of his team, and well, what better opportunity than this, DeMarcus, because they are in a hole. There are a lot of Turkish fans here. Prove something.
No, for sure, and they did start well. They started well. I thought the first, I'd say 15 minutes, you saw the passing and, you know, them trying to win the ball back when they lost it in the final third. But, you know, individual mistakes, and football is a game of mistakes, and they made too many in the final third and their defensive third, and it led to a good Turkish team penalizing them.
Number one, win the game. Number two, take advantage of the opportunities that are placed in front of you, because you know there's going to be rotation and there's going to be guys in the second half that are going to want to prove that they're better than the players who got the start in front of them. I thought for a good stretch the United States for about the first 20 minutes, maybe it's the unknown factor, they were causing a lot of problems with this Turkish side, so much so that Montella dropped Aydin back, played a hybrid of a back five, similar to what we saw in their game against the Netherlands. That adjustment, plus the mistakes, pays off. But I like the response after going down and giving up those 2 goals. Now, opportunities like Brendan Aronson, maybe his brother Paxton, thinking about Mark McKenzie, think about Tyler Adams, maybe even a Quinn Sullivan opportunity this second half. I'm excited to see who takes the opportunity and shows Mauricio Pochettino that they absolutely deserve to be in the conversation for a starting 11.
And Tyler Adams will be making his way onto the pitch in this second half. We have so much more to come. We will be back after the second half for the post-game show. Next, second half of the United States and Turkey A. Luke Wildman and Kyle Martino back after this.
The big stuff. concede, I think it was a massive impact for us in the emotion. No, it was a very emotional goal that we conceded. But I think now we need to recover our feelings, and for sure we need to compete. I am so happy overall for the performance. Bad luck that we concede and we are losing, but I think we have the hope to change this feeling.
Thank you, Mauricio.
You're welcome.
It was those 2 minutes and 20 seconds midway through the half when this game was turned on its head. It's the shortest span in which the US has conceded twice since November of 2018 against England. It all came after a start that they would have dreamt about. Jack McGlynn firing home on his left foot from outside the box after just 59 seconds. But the United States now have to come from behind here against a Turkey side that has been beaten just once in the last 8 games. And they have it here down the right side. Arda Güler with that ball to that far side as it's looked to be cleared by Afston, and out of play for an early Turkey throw. Turkey have been to the last 3 Euros in a row, lost in the quarterfinals against the Netherlands a year ago. They led that game until the 70th minute. That after finishing second in their group, beating Georgia 3-1. They lost against Portugal and then beat Czechia 2-1. Won against Austria in the round of 16, and then really tight game that they fell in that quarterfinals against the Netherlands. They'll begin World Cup qualifying in September in a 4-team group with Spain, Georgia and Bulgaria. Picked up by Tyler Adams. The Bournemouth man out wide to that left side. And now positive play as it's pushed forward towards Agyemang. Luca de la Torre doing well in the midfield there, and it's forward for a second corner of the game for the United States, which Luna will go across to take.
Yeah, and Tyler Adams, you can't see him on the camera often, just directing players already. Very vocal since he's been coming on, pointing, giving instructions to his teammates.
Diego Luna plays it in, it's de la Torre over the bar.
Yes, just asleep Turkey, but you could just tell he wasn't really at the right angle. Tries to get his footwork, take little small steps before he comes to it. You almost wonder if dummying that ball would have created a better chance.
Luca de la Torre's last appearance was the 1-1 draw against New Zealand last September. Actually scored his only international goal in the game before that, the 2-1 loss in Kansas City against Canada.
So the big difference with Turkey is, even to start the half, I don't know if anyone noticed that. They're probably just sitting down at home and getting comfortable. I mean, they just passed the ball out of bounds so that they could press the ball. It's amazing that a country that just performed so incredibly at the Euros. I mean, it was just a wonderful tournament. Obviously, one of the better countries in the world has no problem lumping the ball sometimes.
Ucek plays it out wide to the right. Zeke Celik down that right touchline, linking up with Aydin. Chu in the middle. Celik across the back. Demiral finds Soyuncu. Çağlar Soyuncu has not played a lot lately for Turkey. Just one international appearance in the last 20 months prior to this start today. Soyuncu missing the Euros last year with an injury. McKenzie. De la Torre back for McKenzie. Mark McKenzie, a 26-year-old from New York City. Plays for Toulouse. It's his 20th cap coming on at half-time here. Adams. De la Torre forward. Down the left it goes. Afston trying to get on the outside. And he couldn't get past the Fenerbahce man, Aydin. And Turkey looking to play their way out of trouble with Özur's long ball forward. Freeman heads back over halfway. Tyler Adams rising. It'll drop here towards Tillman. Turkey seemingly well organised behind the ball as it goes all the way back to the debutant today, Matt Freese. First getting a senior call-up all the way back in January of 2021. As an unused sub in a 7-0 win against Trinidad and Tobago. Didn't get another call-up until this January. Played at youth level for the under-19s and under-23s. But Freese getting the call today in goal.
The sequences in the first half, especially in the first 15, that worked so well for the U.S. is when that quick pass goes into the first closest player to break the first line of pressure and very quickly recycled to play that longer ball. Like when they linger on it, take too many touches in one area. And that's when Turkey, they're gonna be able to shift. They're smart enough to close down space and put you under difficult pressure. Got to break through a little bit deeper into that second line.
Lovely turn from De La Torre. And the San Diego man finds Freeman. Down the right now for Tillman. McGlynn. Freeman's ball backwards towards Chris Richards. Now McGlynn looking through towards Adjeman. Adjeman has support from De La Torre. And De La Torre looking to cross it towards the back post. After with a header.
This is a wonderful sequence. I mean, this is a tough ball for Adjeman to take down. Just collects it beautifully. And the far post run was there on his weaker foot. It's a wonderful ball. You just wonder if Argentin's expecting a little flick. It's so close. Celik's head might throw him off a little bit. Great opportunity.
Cap number 4 for Max Arston, the 24-year-old who signed a new deal with Columbus last October.
He's been very lively. I love how much he just puts his head down and wants to go forward in the game so far.
Was Adjeman fouled? He certainly thought so, but nothing given by the referee. Demiral at the back for Turkey. Cross for Soyuncu, who made his debut against Sweden back in 2016. Turned over here, it's Adjeman on the edge of the box. Adjeman stings the palms of Özur in goal. And now Luna is down injured.
Well done from Luna. I mean, just watch as it hits the ground. He knows he's going to be able to make the contact. And I like this from Adjeman. He's got an overlapping run, but he hasn't gotten a clean look. He doesn't catch it as sweetly as he wants to, but I want to see that from him. Start growing into the game, taking shots. But Luna does a wonderful job putting that initial pressure on. I really hope, I mean, you have no idea when games are so close at a camp like this how he's going to rotate players, but in front of his home crowd, yeah, I would want to see him stay out there 90 minutes. You know, this is a game where you want him to get a goal. You want him to get a goal in front, what was it, almost like 40 or 50 of his family and coaches and local people. You know, let him go long in this game.
Patrick Adjeman with plenty of family and friends in attendance here today. Grew up in the area and getting the opportunity to start for the US here at home in East Hartford. He's got 5 goals in his last 5 in all competitions for Charlotte. Scored against Toronto FC in a 2-0 win last Saturday. Freese comes quickly out of goal to be able to claim that one. And he'll get things going with the half-time substitute, McKenzie. Richards. This is Freeman. Freeman under pressure down the right side, finds the ball forward towards Tillman, and he was fouled by Söyüncü. And Adams gets it going quickly. The referee is pulling this one back though because Çağlar Söyüncü is down injured. He joined Fenerbahçe last July after leaving Atletico Madrid. The US unbeaten in 4 in a row in East Hartford before losing to Germany in October of 2023. They took the lead in that game through Pulisic before goals from Gundogan, Füllkrug and Musiala gave Germany the victory. The US have lost 4 games in a row against European teams. They're winless in 6, including 3 at the World Cup. It's the fullback, Celik, getting forward down the right up against McKenzie. Del Torre is back there to sweep things up at the back for the United States. McKenzie finds Adams. They've turned over possession right on the edge of the box, but then Aktürkoğlu gives it away. Agyemang will chase forward here, and Patrick Agyemang using his strength to battle against Söyüncü and get this one back here for Freeman. McGlynn.
Such an important ball to keep for Agyemang. Söyüncü dropped a huge shoulder on him, but the balance not only to take that, but to make sure they don't give up the possession. Now they take this much landscape and you can start to set their attack again.
McGlynn with a little ball down the right side for Tillman. And Tillman floats that cross in towards the back post and driven in. Arfston with a second chance of the half.
Yeah, Del Torre is giving it to him right now, and you'll see. I mean, this is what I mean. This starts with a long ball that U.S. was able to keep. Now, Turkey are just trying to recover, and just watch as it could have got dropped right here. He takes it off his chest. Could have just put that right to Del Torre. He's at the penalty spot. He looks to the sky. He can't believe that he doesn't drop. I mean, what a difficult piece of skill that would have been, and it was, to try to hit the frame from there. Easier pass was just laid off. Still a very good sequence there from the U.S. And that's what I mean. It's just sometimes if you play long, you can reset that and put a little pressure on these guys.
Agyemang across from McGlynn, and McGlynn from distance this time unable to hit the target.
Yeah, especially when Agyemang is so good at closing down the ball, and as this one comes to McGlynn, he just snaps that a little bit. His first touch doesn't really get out from underneath his feet, so it's in the middle of his stance. But you know, Agyemang is when the ball's played into these channels, and especially when he shows the discipline to sit centrally. I mean, he's rarely not at least created a tough situation for the back four. A lot of times we've gone long. He's been able to force either a throw-in or possess the ball.
Diego Luna wins the free kick. Holding the ball up well, forcing the foul.
Everything's a balance, Luke, but it's just, you got to show some different schemes. You got to make a team in Turkey that feel comfortable shifting back and forth. Every now and then they feel like they've got you. You play a long ball, they just haven't really had to face that often.
This is Richards. The captain across the back there finds Freeman. McGlynn tried to play that one inside for Del Torre, but Aktürkoğlu will bring it forward. Aktürkoğlu pushing that forward down the right for Aydin to chase onto. Aydin here, it's dangerous as Turkey played into the box and takes the deflection on the way through. And Tillman looking to get it away. He was caught late there. That was a silly foul from İsmail Yüksek of Fenerbahçe because Turkey had broken quickly. They had the pressure on, and then the US get the free kick here. The ball was long gone.
Yeah, and honestly, I think he saw danger in transition, trying to make a professional foul. Got a clap from, I mean, it's always going to be an Italian coach that will like when you do things to show your defensive prowess. And honestly, that gives you the personality of this side, that they say, listen, you make the mistakes. Bees talked about it at halftime. The game's about mistakes. There are coaches out there that don't subscribe to this you got to win looking a certain way and possessing the ball. I mean, Jose Mourinho probably the most famous saying, we have a better chance of winning when you try to create something and we force the mistakes, especially when we force mistakes higher up the field.
As we approach the hour mark here in East Hartford, Connecticut, this game's still hanging in the balance, but Turkey with the advantage. It's as it was at half-time. The US trailing by 2-1. Played away by McKenzie. Afston heads it forward. De La Torre battling and turning on his first start since November 2023 at Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Diego Luna racing forward. It's 4-on-3. Luna rolling the ball into the path of Jack McGlynn. And McGlynn on that left foot drills the shot. Comes back out towards Tyler Adams. Adams chips it into the middle. Headed straight at the keeper. Tillman, either side of Urza, it would have been tied.
A wonderful sequence. Well done by the referee to play on. And Luna, I love this. Terrific pass to put pace on it. And you know that McGlynn wants to go to his left foot. But this is a beautiful ball for Tyler Adams. Just floats it up. It just hits it right to him. He got that. I mean, just look at from Pochettino's face over. There's a lot of room there to put that in the net. And here's a look at it. He just doesn't glance it off the side of his head. You want to see that ball spinning off the side of his head. Doesn't have to have a lot of power either. Big missed chance there from Tillman, but wonderful sequence there from the United States.
A triple change coming for the US as they get Quinn Sullivan ready, Haji Wright, and Nathan Harriel as well.
It's been a good start here. I would say Pochettino and the coaching staff have to be happy with the way the US have come out to start the second half. Back to being the instigators. And Tyler Adams, he's at the center circle now. He's walked around and had about 3 or 4 different conversations. And that's the beauty of having a veteran in these situations. Won't get flustered, but he's just thinking, all right, everyone else wants to get water, everyone else wants to take a breath, everyone else wants to put their hands on their knees. What can I do right now to get these guys more focused? What can we do better? How do we make sure when the whistle goes and we start here, we're back down their throats? And just look at the joy, too. I mean, that's one thing I love about him. I mean, just every time he comes in, he has a smile on his face.
Slid away by Ozra to the far side. Pressure coming there from Max Afston, who we understand will be leading the game shortly as part of the triple change. We already saw Tyler Adams come on for Johnny Cardoso at halftime, and also Mark McKenzie replacing Miles Robinson. And expecting Afston, McGlynn and Luna to be leading the game, to be replaced by Harriel, Wright and Quinn Sullivan. So 2 debuts coming up for Harriel and Sullivan, 2 Philadelphia Union players. Such a heavy Philadelphia Union influence across this squad. Players who play for them now, played for them in the past, came through the academy. Also a double change coming up very shortly. For Turkey as well.
My credit to that club. Richie Graham, who I think as an owner definitely sets the tone about preparing youth, not only within their club, but in the area for any next challenge. And a lot of players have come through that organization and been ready for the step up. Doing a lot of right things at the Union.
Great moment for Nathan Harriel, Quinn Sullivan and the Philadelphia Union. as they get 2 debutants coming on for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, these 3 players I thought performed really well. Karsten,